Have you ever trusted someone so deeply only to realize they were plotting against you the entire time? Imagine your own child, the person you raised, scheming to rob you of everything your late husband left behind. That's exactly what happened to me, and it all came crashing down one Christmas night. If you've ever dreamed of karma catching up to someone who thought they could get away with betrayal, hit that like button, subscribe, and settle in, because today I'm going to tell you one of the most gut-wrenching yet ultimately satisfying revenge stories you'll ever hear. My name is Clara, and I'm 68 years old. I've lived a long life, seen hardship, joy, and heartbreak. But nothing could have prepared me for the kind of betrayal that cuts the deepest, the kind that comes from your own flesh and blood. It all started last December. My son, Michael, called me one evening. His voice was casual, almost too casual. "Mom," he said, "I think it's best if you don't come to Christmas dinner this year. It'll just be, immediate family, more intimate." I froze. Immediate family? What was I then? A stranger? I felt my throat tighten. My husband, God rest his soul, passed away 2 years prior. And ever since then, I'd clung to the hope that holidays would still bring us together. That one phone call shattered me. I didn't argue. I didn't cry on the phone. I just said, "I understand," and hung up. But the moment I set the receiver down, the tears came. I wept in that quiet little house that had once been filled with laughter, warmth, and my husband's deep baritone voice humming Christmas carols as he decorated the tree. The ache in my chest was unbearable. I had raised Michael, fed him, stayed up through nights of fevers and heartbreaks. And now, I wasn't family enough to sit at his table? Days went by, and I tried to bury the pain under daily routines. But then, just a week before Christmas, Michael called again. His tone was softer this time, apologetic even. "Mom, I've been thinking. Maybe I overreacted. I'd love for you to come to dinner. The kids miss you. It won't be the same without you." My heart leapt. Maybe I had been wrong. Maybe he realized how cruel his words had been. Against my better judgment, I agreed. I told myself this was the olive branch, that maybe, just maybe, Christmas could still mean family. When Christmas Day came, I dressed carefully. I put on the emerald green sweater my husband had bought me years ago, the one he always said made my eyes shine. I baked a pie, his favorite recipe, and walked into Michael's house carrying both food and hope. The night started pleasantly enough. Michael's wife, Sarah, greeted me warmly. The grandchildren hugged me, their little arms wrapping around my waist. For a while, I let myself believe that the earlier wound had healed. But then, halfway through dinner, something strange happened. My phone buzzed in my purse. Normally, I would ignore it during a meal, but something about the timing made my stomach twist. I excused myself and stepped into the hallway. "Hello?" I answered softly. The voice on the other end was low, hurried, almost panicked. "Clara, you don't know me, but listen carefully. Go home. Now. Someone's in your house." "What? Who are you?" "I don't have time to explain, but your son's friend, Alton, he's in your house right now. They're after your husband's papers, the will, the stock certificates. Leave before it's too late." The line went dead. I stood there frozen, the sounds of laughter and clinking silverware drifting from the dining room. My heart was hammering so hard I thought it would split my ribs. Could it be true? Would Michael, my son, really do such a thing? I didn't say goodbye. I didn't take my pie. I grabbed my coat and keys, muttering something about not feeling well, and drove home with my hands trembling on the steering wheel. When I pulled up, the sight made my stomach lurch. The side door, usually locked, was ajar. I slipped inside quietly, every nerve on fire. And there he was, a man I vaguely recognized from Michael's neighborhood gatherings, Alton. He was crouched near my husband's desk, rifling through drawers, papers scattered across the floor. Rage and grief welled up in me all at once. "What are you doing in my house?" I shouted. He jumped, eyes wide. "It's not what it looks like." But it was exactly what it looked like. He bolted for the door, clutching a folder to his chest. Adrenaline surged through me. I may be 68, but I am not weak. I lunged forward, grabbing the corner of the folder. Papers spilled everywhere. My husband's will, stock certificates worth more than most people see in a lifetime. At that moment, headlights flashed across the window. A police car. Someone had tipped them off. Within minutes, Alton was in handcuffs, stammering excuses about how Michael put him up to it. Michael, my son. The truth came spilling out like poison. Michael had sent Alton to steal the documents, planning to reinterpret the estate in his favor. My husband's careful legacy, everything he had worked for, was nothing but leverage to him. When confronted, Michael broke. He confessed. His marriage with Sarah fractured under the weight of his greed. She had never known the depth of his schemes. And me? I should have been crushed. But as I stood in my quiet house, watching officers gather evidence, I felt something unexpected. Strength. Freedom. For years, I had been manipulated by Michael. His subtle guilt trips, his dismissive tone, his endless demands. I thought I owed him my loyalty, no matter how he treated me. But now I saw the truth. Family is not just blood. It is love, respect, and honor. And my husband's legacy would stay with me. Not stolen, not rewritten. Michael lost far more than money that night. He lost his wife's trust, his children's respect, and my support forever. The man who thought he could rob his own mother ended up stripped of the very things he craved: control and power. And me? I reclaimed my dignity, my husband's work, and my peace. Sometimes revenge doesn't come with fireworks or screaming matches. Sometimes it's simply the truth coming to light, exposing those who thought they could manipulate and steal without consequence. Justice, in its quiet way, is the sweetest gift of all. If this story gave you chills, smash that like button and tell me in the comments, what's the worst betrayal you've ever witnessed? And of course, don't forget to subscribe for more true stories of karma, revenge, and justice served cold. Because trust me, there are plenty more where this came from.